Hey guys, so I asked on social media what you guys wanted to see, and probably the most requested was how I contour. So I'm going to be teaching you guys how I contour. On my face right now, I only have foundation, which I'm using Bare Minerals Bare Skin. I like it a lot. But I do have dry skin and it's not very good for that, so I wouldn't recommend it if you have dry skin. Still using it because I paid a lot. For the base of my contour, I use the NYX Wonder Stick. This is the light shade. It comes in medium, universal, and deep as well. I've heard from other skin tones that this is a really great product, and the light is amazing. I love it. It has like a nice gray undertone, which works really well for contouring. So I'm just going to draw right under where my cheekbones are, and then above my eyebrow. It looks really great like this. And then I go under my chin because I have a nice double chin. So I'm going to try to recede that. And then to blend that into my foundation, if you want a more like severe or harsh contour, I would recommend blending it with the Beauty Blender, which is Bay. But I don't like mine as intense, so I use this big kabuki brush to just blend it in a circular motion. And you're just blending it into the areas that you want to make seem smaller or receding. I like this Wonder Stick because it blends really well into liquid foundation, and I only use liquid foundation. I'm gonna repurchase it, it's almost gone. And then just blending down into my neck. If you wanted a more natural contour, you could leave it as is, but this definitely isn't enough for my liking. I like to use that as a base. And then I go over that with a stipple brush from e.l.f. and the Chocolate Soleil powder from Too Faced. I have it in this little palette, but it comes in its own individual thing, and it's made out of real cocoa powder, and it smells so good, and it's just this beautiful matte brown. Another one that I'll be repurchasing once I'm out of this. And I just like to lightly go over the areas that I just did and a little bit above them because this is a more tan, and I don't want to look fake tan, but I just want to go right over the contour that I already started. If I use just this and not the e.l.f., it's kind of like a fake tan look, which I'm not really here for. I'm too pale for that. Works for some people. So I'm just going over the areas that I just did really lightly. I really like this stipple brush because it picks up a really good amount for this. It's not too much, but it's also not like, it's a good brush. And I think this is only like $3. So I'm here for it. And I'm gonna do that all again because it's still not enough for my liking. I like my contour I don't like to have harsh lines, but I have a very round volleyball-like face that I'm trying to shape into something that is not a volleyball. So I'm gonna keep at that. Sometimes I also go over it again with the cream contour if it wasn't enough, or if it's like a night look or something along that line. Some people contour their nose, which I just like to put a little bit of the powder on my nose. I already have a really pointy nose. I don't really need to make it very much pointier, which is usually what people like to do when they contour their nose. Then after that, I like to take the other end of the Wonder Stick, which is a highlighter. I'm almost out of both of these. They're so wonderful. If you have really fair skin, I would highly recommend it. because usually either the highlighter isn't light enough or the contour isn't a gray tone, it's too warm. But this one is lit. I'm here for it. So I go under my eyes in a triangle form, something like that, the areas that I want to lighten up. Then I'll also do a little bit on my forehead, and then I'll do all on my chin because it brings the contour out a little bit more, which I'm a fan of. And then I'm going to blend this out with the Beauty Blender just because it's a little bit closer to my skin tone than the contour. And if you do not have the Beauty Blender and are wondering if it's worth it, it's 20 bucks, and I've used the knockoffs and they are not even close to as good. Like, this is the perfect, it doesn't pick up any of your, I mean a little bit, but it picks up some of your makeup, but not a lot, and it blends it out really, really nicely. I'm very impressed. I also didn't pay for this one though. So I don't blame you if you don't want to spend $20 on a sponge. I spent, this is a $5 brush and I've had it forever and it does the same thing. So it's really what you want to do. So with the Beauty Blender, you just tap that makeup into your skin and it blends with your foundation. It's a little more time consuming, but I think the result is worth it. I'm feeling lazy, so I'm just gonna go in with my brush. And then I'm just blending out the very edge of that highlight. And then at this point I like to take my, I like to take the Revlon Color Stay, which is just a translucent powder, and I go in with the Beauty Blender, the pointier end, and get some of that translucent powder and go in and set right under my eyeballs because that's where my makeup loves to crease. So just set that. Sometimes I set a little bit on my nose or on my chin. And then at this point I usually go in with my NYX Matte Finish. It's just a setting spray. I really like it. It's a good dupe of the more expensive ones that you can get at Sephora, the Urban Decay ones, which are really good too, but that just sets it. It tastes terrible, but it sets your makeup, and it's impressed me. So the next thing I want to do is I take this little tiny highlighting trio by Model Co. I don't know. And it's a cream highlight, so I get a little bit on my finger and then go along the top of my cheekbone and just pat that in. Same with the other side. If I had more money, I would get the Anastasia Glow Kit. I would highly recommend it. It's a really good highlighting kit. But I'm currently broke, so I'll teach you the broke person method. Well, sort of. A little bit of that above my lips on my Cupid bow. A little bit on my nose. And then I like to put a little bit above my eyebrow. This is a little risky because it can look sweaty, but if you don't have oily skin at all, it's a really nice place to put highlight right above your eyebrows. And then I go over that with my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. It's really pink, but this lightest side is very pale, which works for me. I'm going to take this angle brush that I got at Walmart and then just go over the parts that I just highlighted. And the last thing I do is add a little bit of blush. When I do a heavier contour like this, I like to take my cream blush. I'm using NYX cream blush in Rose Petal. And I get a little bit on my brush, which is something that you're not supposed to use this brush, but I like it. And I go from where my contour is up to the highlight and onto the apple of the cheek, just a little bit. Is that what it's called? Apples of your cheeks? Who knows, but I think that's what it is. And it's a little harsh, so I'm just gonna take my foundation brush and go in and kind of blend them all three together. Yep, that's how I contour and highlight. Thanks for watching.